Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well, and today I wanted to make this video to talk about some of my favorite things that I love about using Android. I've been using Android for a long time. I think the earliest version I can remember using is like 6.0. I did have a Galaxy S7 when that launched, and I can't remember exactly what version of Android that launched with, but that's pretty much how long I've been using Android, and I've used every major version since then. And so today here, this is one of my favorite phones, the OnePlus 12. If you haven't seen my review, go do so. It's done very well, so I appreciate those of you who have seen it and have liked the video and commented. It's done a lot better than I thought it would, so thank you very much. Okay, so let's dive into it here. So there's just lots of little tidbits about Android that I really like. Now, some of these that I talk about, there may be some form of it on the iPhone, so stay tuned. I am going to make a version of that video about things I like about iOS. Okay, first things first here, I love being able to put whatever icon I want on my home screen or have however many screens that I want. Now, my setup here is very basic day to day. These are just apps that I use most often. There's my Photos app, Bitwarden, which is a password manager, Messenger, and YouTube. These are apps that I usually just want very quick access to. Right here is some shopping apps like Amazon, eBay, McDonald's. You got to use those McDonald's coupons. Walmart, calculator, settings. I want quick access to my settings app. And then some financial stuff that I want quick access to. And usually what I do is here on the OnePlus, I love the global search. So right here at the bottom, you tap on search and you can just type in whatever app. It's kind of like, I guess, Spotlight search on the iPhone. So I really like that. I can just quickly search for an app instead of just going through here and scrolling. But I do like how the app drawer is in alphabetical order. I've always preferred it to be that way. I also like that here on my home screen, the time is right there, very large. Here's the weather. That's usually information I want to know when I wake up. I want to know what time it is. I want to know a general idea of what the weather is, and of course what the actual date is. One of my all-time favorite things about Android is being able to, once you hit the volume rocker, you hit the three dots and you can adjust each individual volume. And I think this is something that Apple really should consider doing, because you can adjust the actual media volume. So like videos you're watching, your ringtone. Right now I think I'm on, there we go. So that's with my ringer on. You can adjust the media, the ringtone volume, notification volume, alarm volume, just all right here. And this is really cool because sometimes, like you want your phone to ring but not very loud, or you want your notifications to be super loud, or your ringtone not very loud. You can just, typically what I do is I kind of put my notifications to be a little bit loud, but I absolutely want to hear when my phone is ringing, so I just usually crank that up. Alarms, that's something I don't use a whole lot, but for those who do, you can adjust the volume of that. I really wish this is something Apple would bring to the iPhone, just to be able to customize the individual volumes. Definitely one of my favorite features of Android. Next up, you guys probably could guess this one, but it's the customization of Android. If I just get tired of some sort of layout, or if there's something I just don't agree with how it works out of the box, the vanilla settings, I can go in here and change that. So, like quick toggles, you can change these around. You can do different shapes, different colors. It's not something I do all the time, but if I do get kind of tired of my layout, or I just want to spice things up, make it feel a little bit more new, you can go in there and do tons of customizations. And it's not just customization of the quick toggles here. You can do things like the fingerprint scanner. So well, it's going to see my face, but you can sort of customize the type of fingerprint sensor it is and the unlock animation, which is really cool. I believe this is the icon size. Yes, that's the icon size. We'll kind of set that right there. Looks really nice. Apparently this is still on beta on the OnePlus, but I think this is sort of like Material U from the Pixels, where it will adopt the system colors for the icons. You can choose to show app names or not, to kind of make a cleaner look. I'm going to keep that off for now because I think that looks pretty clean, and I'm pretty familiar with all of the icons, so I'm going to keep that off. You can also choose the layout The default is a 4x6, but there are tons of options here: 3x5, 3x6, 4x5, 5x5. So you can choose the app grid. That's really neat too. Also, one of my favorite things about Android is the fact that when I swipe down anywhere on the screen, it pulls down the notifications. You know, you can swipe down anywhere on the screen and it will bring down the notification shade and also some controls, whereas on iPhone, the control center is separate from the notification center. So I think it would be pretty cool if Apple could somehow combine those two, but I'm not sure if they will, because most people who use iOS are used to it being top right, swipe down for the control center, and then the notification center. But it just seems a little counterintuitive to have to swipe down in two different locations for different features of the phone. Just makes a little bit more sense to me to swipe down once and have some controls here, see your notifications. And if you want more controls, just swipe down again. Also, the double click to launch the camera. Now, I know Apple with the latest iPhone 15, the Pro Series, they have the action button now. But the double click to access the camera has been on Android for such a long time. Definitely also one of my favorite features. You know, if something's happening and you want to take a quick video, quick picture, you just double tap and jump into the camera. I was showing this to one of my friends the other day and he thought it was pretty cool. So here on the OnePlus 12, under the special features, there is a kids mode. And I think this is really handy because think about, you know, in the day and age we live in, when you're at dinner, people are trying to keep their kids entertained. So a lot of the time they will hand their phone to their little kids to keep them entertained. And there's nothing like this on iPhone. So like, if you hand your iPhone to your kid, it's very likely that your home screen layout will get messed up and they will open apps that they aren't supposed to. And there's no way to like pin the app so they can't exit out of it once you hand it to them. But here on the OnePlus, there's a kids mode, so you can select what apps you want them to access. This is just to demonstrate to you guys. I've got a couple games here for like if I hand my phone to my little nephew. So that's really neat. And the only way to exit out of it is to hit the three dots. And when you tap exit, it asks for your fingerprint. So that's the only way out of it. And it does not mess with your personal home screen layout. So that's really neat. I definitely think Apple should bring something like that to the iPads or the iPhones, some sort of kids mode. I definitely really like the smart sidebar here. If I'm in like an app, let's say I'm in YouTube here and I just quickly want to jump into the Play Store, I can, you know, swipe out from the side, open Play Store, do what I need to do really quick, or I can full screen it, then exit out of it. Or you can also touch and hold and drag to do the split view. Just feels like better multitasking on Android, and it's been that way for quite some time now. So that's also one of my favorite features. You can customize how far up or down the side of the screen you want the pull-out drawer for the smart sidebar. You can customize the opacity, like how dark or transparent you want it to make it easier to see. You can customize how large it is. So if you've got big thumbs, or if you kind of hold your phone a little lower than I do. This one right here works good for me. It's kind of close to the sleep wake button, so I can kind of just naturally swap out. And there's some apps that I like quick access to if I'm within another app. I really like the Google feed as well, because I can come over here and scroll through some tech articles and kind of keep up with the tech news just like you guys do. So it's also one of my favorite features on Android. I know Apple has the Apple News, and I think maybe you can put a widget on your home screen, but this is just, you know, naturally here on Android. You just swipe over and you can just start scrolling and tap on articles. Just feels like it's there, it's ready to use. You don't have to kind of change anything. It's just baked into many versions of Android. Also, I feel like the typing experience on Android is quite a bit better than it is on iOS. And the main thing here for me is, so let's type some text here. This is a test for YouTube. Okay, so being able to, my favorite thing about typing on Android is if you tap and hold for a split second, you can select multiple words to delete it one time, or one word, and it's just so handy. But on iPhone, you have to touch and hold the backspace key, and it's been that way forever. And once you've held the backspace button for a few seconds, the iPhone knows that you're trying to erase a lot of text, so it will start to erase entire words at a time. But it would be nice if Apple could just put this sort of gesture on the iPhone, because it's one of my favorite things about typing on Android, and also just the customization you can do on the keyboard. If you don't like Samsung's keyboard, you can change it to Gboard, and I'm pretty sure that's what I've done here on the OnePlus. I think that's the default keyboard. I do like Gboard pretty good, but there are some customizations you can do. You can change the color, the theme, and you can do like a one-handed mode. But my favorite thing that I wish Apple would do is the ability to resize. So you can make the keyboard larger or smaller, depending on the size of your thumbs. That's really neat too. So yeah, I do think the typing experience on Android is a little bit better than it is on the iPhone. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I know I've probably forgotten a few features that I really like about Android. Like I said earlier in this video, stay tuned for my iPhone version of this, because I'm going to make a video about my favorite features of iOS. Let me know your favorite features of Android down in the comments. I really appreciate you guys watching. Do me a favor, hit like, and I will see you in the next video.